Dear viewers, welcome to Sip and Chat. My name is Atim Sujin, and as I said earlier yesterday, today I'll be sipping and chatting with John Ngong. John Ngong is a youth leader. He's the host of Tukul. The Tukul is a platform that where youth comes together and discuss issues of concern, talking about all aspects of life as youth, career development, and other things. So John Ngong has traveled abroad and is going to join us shortly. We'll talk about youth empowerment through skills development in South Sudan. So thank you so much, guys, and be tuned. We're going to be coming to you. And John is a very skillful young person that is really helping others to develop and try to change their lives in different ways. So basically, I'll bring John back here, and then we talk about this very interesting story. We do believe that each one of us go to school, and when we go to school, we study. But of course, going to school and studying is not enough. You need to also learn some skills to be able to be competitive in your area of profession. So basically, we'll talk about this, and also we'll talk about opportunities in South Sudan where youth can tap in to be able to make a living. So let me bring John Ngong live, and we'll talk about this thing. Thank you for tuning in, guys. It's going to be quite interesting. So John Ngong is coming shortly, and then we can continue from here. So as we're waiting for John Ngong, you also have to know today, after this interview, we're going to come back with the charcoal transporter, one of our youth who has masters in the entrepreneurship, but of course, because of lack of jobs, he decided to create a job for himself, and he has been selling. He has been selling charcoals. He has been transporting charcoals from Bor Highway and make a living out of it. So we'll hear from him how this come about and how he's making a living out of it, and the challenges he's facing, despite being, a police captain, a master's holder. He decided to also get a job for himself. Instead of sitting doing nothing, that is quite interesting. He's going to come here live shortly after this interview. So let me bring John Ngong, and we can continue from here. So John Ngong is coming on, and we'll continue from here. So John Ngong is trying to log in, is trying to connect. So let's give him some few minutes as he's trying to connect. And don't forget that youth empowerment through skills development is a very interesting subject. And we know very well that in South Sudan, organizations like UNDP are trying to create vocational trainings where youth can come and learn some skills, then go back outside there and make a living for themselves. We also know that UNMIS is doing the same thing, and different institutions are doing the same thing. Of course, our government also is trying to support such kind of initiatives to make sure that youth are given skills that they can use to make a living. So sometimes it is not enough to have papers in the house, but also you need to develop other skills that will make you more competitive when it comes to job market in South Sudan, and even outside South Sudan. There is need for vocational trainings and skills development centers to be developed and be empowered to make sure youth are given skills that they can use in order to take care of themselves. So I will get back to you. Let me check on John Ngong if he's able to make it so that we can continue from here. All right, John Ngong is logging in shortly. So let's wait and welcome him live on Sip and Chat. John traveled outside a few days ago, and he committed to be part of this today despite the tight schedules and the traveling stress that he went through. So that is quite very all right. We have somebody here. John Ngong.
Hi Tim, how are you doing?
Hello.
How are you doing? Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. How are you, my brother?
I'm good, but a bit low on my
Don't
speaker.
worry. You're very loud and clear. You're very loud and clear. How was the journey?
Okay, all right.
How was the journey?
The journey was good. It was long, man, like 8 hours, but we're good now.
I know, right? So tell us,
Yeah.
where are you exactly? Where are you right now?
Sorry, Tim, I couldn't hear you.
I'm saying, tell us where you are right now. Where are you currently? Where are you right now?
Yes, I am in The Hague right now, in
What
the
are,
Netherlands. Yes.
wow.
Yeah.
What are you doing in the Netherlands? Let's start with that.
Yeah, I came here for some visit. So it's a in form of professional and networking kind of activity, but more so it's going to be a training. Yeah,
Okay,
some professional training kind of. Yeah.
all the best, my brother. All the best for
Yeah.
you. Now, John Ngong, this is Sip and Chat program, and as we said earlier, Sip and Chat is a youth platform where we try to bring youth to discuss issues of concern, issues of development, and issues of
Mhm.
success. So you are one of the people that is doing a lot when it comes to career development, empowerment, and all that. So tell us briefly, who is John Ngong? In few words, who is John Ngong?
Okay, so maybe can you give me a second? I was struggling attempt to hear you off the mic.
Oh, okay. Do you have earphones? You can use your earphones. Thank you. Now will be good. So
Yes, this
am
is
I
much
loud?
better now.
All right. I'm saying
Uh-huh.
John Ngong Youth Sip and Chat is a youth platform where we discuss youth activities and developments. And as one of the youth that is doing great things outside there, tell us briefly who is John Ngong in person? Who is John Ngong?
Hi, yeah, John Ngong is South Sudanese. I'm no more youth, so the cutoff age for youth international is way lower than what I am right now. So I'm no more youth, but I work with a lot of youth, right?
Okay,
Yeah,
sure, sure.
yeah.
All
So
right.
thank you, Tim, for having me here today.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. It's my pleasure. So, John
Mhm.
Ngong, tell us briefly, about youth empowerment in South Sudan. We have been talking about the skills development because we
Mhm.
believe most of the youth outside there do not have skills. And it's not about going to school. You might have not gone to school, but if you go to some vocational trainings, you are able to take care of yourself. You are able to learn some skills that will help you in developing your life. So, what is skills development in your own words? How do you define skills development as a person?
Yeah, so skills development is something that I really invest on, even now, by the way, on myself and also for people around me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to me, skills development doesn't need to be a formal training. No, it could be something you could even learn by yourself, by the way.
Yeah.
And especially with the technology and the internet that we have in the country, I'm not taking that lightly. I'm telling people, guys, technology cannot be ignored anymore,
Exactly.
right? So this is to tell the youth that you could develop your own skills right now, but most importantly, we need to develop skills that are relevant, right?
Okay.
Because all the time, the skills that we have, the skills we had for like the last 10 years might not be relevant right now. And the skills we have now might not be relevant in the next 5 years, by the way, because the speed of technology is really like it's something else, right? So skills development to me is something that you do, but on constant basis, keep learning skills that are relevant, and also know that with time, even the skills we have might be irrelevant, right? So it's like a constant call for self improvement all the time.
That's very interesting. John
Mhm.
Wong, you have mentioned a very good point. Skill development is about constant, activity that you dwell on for some time to be able to be good at it. And also it
Mhm.
might include some other support from maybe like mentors. It also include a lot of engagement. You cannot do it by yourself. Like
Right.
I can recall the first time we met at Defy Head now, we had a very long conversation. We
Yeah.
discussed so many things. That is skill development. I can learn
Right.
from you, you can learn from me. You
Hmm.
cannot do it, in isolation, but you can do it
Yeah.
in consultation with others who might
Yeah.
have the same, experience or better
Hmm.
ones than you. So in South Sudan, what are the challenges we have when it comes to skills development? What challenges do you think that our youth are facing, that might, block them from developing their skills as we talk right now?
Yeah. So the youth are facing a lot of issues in South Sudan, but the like to me, I always want to look inwards, like look into yourself first before you think of like things that are hindering you from outside. So one thing is that first we need to look in and be like, yeah, what could people do on their own before you look to the family, before you look to the uncles, the famous uncles, before you look to to sponsorships and things like that, right? Or maybe to your parents. So to me, one thing that you should embrace is trying to overcome limits that are internal, things that are within your head, things that are within you, right? So like I am wasting maybe 4 hours of my time playing dominoes, right? This is an invisible hindrance to youth empowerment in South Sudan. People say in South Sudan, youth in South Sudan say, I'm doing this to go and kill time. How do you kill
How do
time,
you
bro?
kill time?
You should not kill time. Oh, I just want to go and kill time. Why would you kill time? That's the most important resource you have, right?
Right.
So as a young man, the time you have at your hand is actually the most valuable resource. You don't want to waste it. You don't want to be generous. You need to be mean with how you use your time.
Exactly.
So that if you are developing some, let's say some skill, maybe you want to train yourself on carpentry, you want to train yourself on typing skills. Like these are new skills, man. Like
Yes, yes.
typing skills, we will need it very soon. So,
Sure.
yes, exactly. These are the new skills we're saying that we need to begin to learn for the next 5 years if you want to be relevant in the job market. If you, for example, if you're also doing other skills like let's say you do things like mechanic or something,
Hmm.
yeah, you need to invest so much in the time that you have in order to focus on that, because the more you do it, the better you get at it. This is the thing with the
Okay.
skills, right?
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Yes,
John
yes,
Ngong, let me
exactly.
ask,
Mhm.
how do you spend your day? When you wake up in the morning, what do you do? How do you allocate your time from morning to sunset? This is
Yeah,
one challenge we have. Sometimes we wake up in the morning, we don't know where to start. So
yes.
how do you, as a person,
Mm.
plan your 12 hours of the day? How do you spend them?
Yeah. So one thing I can tell you, Tim, is that with my time I'm very mean,
Mm-hmm.
and then the second thing is that I am very intentional with how I use my time,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
So
let
you
us
have a
say,
list
if
of the things you do when you wake
yes,
up in the morning.
yes, I have things that I have planned for the week. I usually plan my all the things I'm working on. I plan them for the week, because a day might be too minute,
Mm-hmm.
and a month might be too long. You might lose your track, right? So what I
Mm-hmm.
do usually, like, I have weekly things that I call my weekly plans
Mm-hmm.
that I work on, and these things are tracked every time I make something. The percentage that shows for my progress is updated automatically. This is like an Excel tracked activity.
Okay.
So, for example, if I say this week I am going to read 12 articles, and I read one article now,
Mm-hmm.
I just add that one article to what I do. Like, it's on Monday to Saturday, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if I add one article to that, it shows what was planned versus what is achieved now, and the percentage changes automatically, right?
Okay.
So usually what I would do is that, like, I have things that I've lined up. If it is, for example, a Saturday,
Yeah.
I'm being intentional with saying Saturday here, because we see Saturdays as days that we just go relax and chat and everything. No,
And there's
that's the
countless
time when
people
you really need to work on
enjoying
yourself.
our Saturdays and Sundays.
Exactly, Saturday, Sunday. Those are the most valuable days actually you have in the week, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like, the point is that I'm intentional with my time. Also mean I don't want to go outside, waste my time. I just want to have, like, things that I plan for the week to be achieved first before I can go outside. Yeah.
Okay. John Wong,
Hmm.
if someone is looking for ways to develop his skills as a young person, we have a lot of
Hmm.
youth who do not know how to start and where to go. If
Yeah.
somebody wants to, someone is willing, to develop some skills, and skill is something you're good at. I might be
Hmm.
very good at maybe computers. I want to learn more about computers. That could turn into my skill. I could be
Yeah.
good in writing. I need to be a good writer, but I don't know
Hmm.
how to. I don't have the basics. How could I do that? So if such
Hmm.
people are there and they need help, how could they get help? Because I'm not sure we have enough vocational training centers in South Sudan currently.
Right.
But how
Hmm.
can this kind of person get help to be where you want to be?
Yeah, exactly. So in, yeah, in the lieu of professional vocational training centers, like the way you say, what a young person could do in South Sudan is that you could have, like, circles that really give you the opportunity to train yourself in that skill.
Yeah.
You could also do apprenticeship. This is a classic way of gaining skills. If I want to be a tailor, I could attach myself to a person that does tailoring for business, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, whether individual or a company. If I
Mm-hmm.
also want to be a mechanic, I could attach myself into a garage or something where people do car repairs and maintenance, and then different types of skills there, by the way. So there you could attach yourself there, because the main point is to gain the skills. Therefore, pay things like being paid, or maybe other compensation might come later, because
Mm-hmm.
the main point is to get the skill. Right. So attach yourself to groups that are already doing it, create network, or join networks that have interest in what you do. And
Exactly.
again,
Mm-hmm.
stop thinking that you have to wait for somebody for you to start. No.
We're coming there. We're coming there.
Yes.
In South Sudan, someone goes to school, you
Hmm.
graduate, you
Mm.
come back to South Sudan,
Yeah.
with all the knowledge you have, you're looking for an uncle or a friend
Mm. Mm.
to make sure at least you're connected. Is that a good way of doing things in South Sudan? Because I know a lot of people who have just they're good, they're qualified, they
Yeah.
have the skills they want, but that confidence of trying it, go out and try it, apply and get
Mm.
a job, is not in South
Mm.
Sudan. Everyone feels
Mm.
like somebody should get me a job. Is that a good spirit that we need to develop as young people in South Sudan?
Yeah, I've said uncle-ism is killing us in South Sudan.
Uncle.
This thing called uncle-ism, it's another thing we need to fight after we're done with tribalism and things like corruption.
Yeah.
Because we tend to think like my elder brother will do this for me, my uncle will do this for me, people from my community will do this for me, and sometimes we even get angry at them for not doing that for us, right?
Exactly.
Say this uncle is not giving me the job and everything, you know. No, it's not uncle's job, bro, to give you to give you the job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you have the skills, go start something else. Yeah,
Yeah.
or
So
actually, it's upon yourself to market yourself in terms of skills you have. Somebody might like what you know, and that's where you begin. Yeah.
yeah, sure, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to ask this question, and it's quite interesting. We have some people who are watching live from USA, United
Mm-hmm.
States of Amarat. The
Yeah.
guy,
Okay.
this guy is watching. He's our producer. He's saying he's watching from United States of Amarat. That's quite
Okay.
interesting. Thanks,
Mm-hmm.
Idris. I would like to ask this on personal basis. You know, John, I've known you for some time, and
Mm-hmm.
I've known you to be a very disciplined person when it comes to dealing with people. When it comes to what you want, you have that kind of discipline in you. How did that come to be? Because it might have been ignited by something. You might have developed it at some point of your life. And
Mm-hmm.
I know some bit of your history. You were in church before, so briefly take us back. How did
Mm-hmm.
that? Where were you to develop this skill? I know you were in the church. Give us some brief intro about your church life, how you ended up there, and how it
Mm-hmm.
has contributed to who you are today. So disciplined in terms of doing what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Tim. I believe I'm a very chaotic person. Like I'm not disciplined at all.
Really?
Yeah,
How
this is
how
how I
do you
perceive
explain that?
myself. Like I struggle so much. Like even my thoughts are so sometimes they don't spin around one thing. They just like all over the place, all over to like the way I use my energy too. But then you are right. I grew up in the church and joined the church, like literally staying in the church compound when I was like 12 years old. Right? Yeah.
Are you aspiring to be a church person or what?
Yes. My
How did you end up there?
my mission in life was to become a Catholic priest, a Roman Catholic
What happened?
priest.
Uh-huh.
I'm not a priest now.
What happened to that good dream? What happened to that very interesting
All
dream?
right. So it's a lot of things in between. So when I was 14 years, I got the opportunity to go and study in a church school. It's called minor seminary in the terminology of Catholic training. But then it was quite a journey too. So when I did my primary school in South Sudan, like the early, let me say, this is like early 2000s when I finished my primary school, and then I was still in the church then, but then there was no proper secondary school inside South Sudan, right?
Yeah.
So the point is that I had to, stick to the church, and the church had a program that the Catholic Diocese of Rumbek by then, of which our area, this is a will, was part of the diocese at the time. So
Okay.
there was a program to take young boys and girls,
Mm-hmm.
you know, into seminary and convents in order to become priests and sisters in the future. I was part of that program, right?
Okay.
But then when it comes to where does the apparent discipline come from and everything, life in the church is structured.
Yeah.
It is either you are in or you kick out, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not for bad, but it's for good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like especially in the Catholic Church, you have to do things as they should be done. You do things according to it's like, man, like kind of military man, but with the love of Christ around you.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so you have to do it like that. Even when it comes to your academic performance, you need to perform to a certain level. If you don't, you'll be kicked out.
Yeah.
But they will tell you we're not kicking out you for bad. It's for the greater good of humanity, because you
Yeah.
can't have a priest who's like a mediocre or something. You have to be properly that kind of person, you know,
Exactly.
in order to be.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that is my background in terms of me being in the church. And you asked me why am I not a priest now? Yeah. So I actually went to the major seminary. This is where you put on like the white cassock, you know,
What?
really. Yeah,
So
man. Like
you're half priest. You're half priest now. Uh-huh. Go
yeah,
ahead.
went to major seminary, did like 3 years there, had my white cassock like all the time. I should have met like 15 or 10 years ago, man. You will not recognize me.
Then how did you get out of that?
Yeah, man. So, but then, life has its own way of happening, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it happens for a reason. You have your own reason why you were there.
Hmm.
You also, that things happen for a season. It's not every day that you'll be in the seminary. There's a
Hmm.
season where you're in the seminary and there's a season where you are outside, right? Like
Yeah.
the way I'm outside the church right now.
Hmm.
Yes. So to me, I had my own season. I also had my own reason for being in the church. Yeah. Afterwards, people said like, okay, so you maybe in the Catholic Church you don't marry, right?
Yeah.
And you know how it goes in the Dinka
I
culture.
was going to ask that. I was going to ask that.
Yeah. So, but to me, it was totally the opposite. Like, I didn't even think of things to do with starting a family or getting married. No, the reason why I had to change my mind and I thought I would serve the church outside was also different. And I believe I'm serving the church right now because, after all, it's about serving humanity. Like, if I have activities that help people around me, help the youth, help somebody to be a better person, I'm still going on with the mission of Christ. So I felt I'm not going to miss out on fulfilling the mission of the church, right?
Definitely.
But then I didn't need to be inside the church in order to accomplish the mission. So I felt very, very much free to step outside and still do the same thing. Yeah.
That was brave of you, man. That was really brave of you. Yeah, that was great. There are so many ways of serving the Lord, and it's not only
Hmm.
through being a brother. You can
Right.
also do it outside, like you're doing it now. So, John
Right.
Ngong,
Hmm.
we talk of there are no jobs. Government is not giving us jobs in South Sudan. People talk about, and my opinion is always different. I don't think government can employ all of us. You
Yeah.
know, and I don't
Mm.
think the reason of going to school should be to get employed. That is not the right thing to do.
Yeah.
We should also
Mm.
create jobs instead of also looking for jobs. I always believe that it's not necessary for government to employ all of us. Also, it's not necessary for me to graduate and then look for a job.
Mm.
Why can't I create a job for myself and others? So what do you say about that? Is it good to say that okay, we have to blame government for everything, including getting jobs? Is that really fair?
Actually, Tim, this is a very good point. It's a great point to talk about, especially without you, because, like I said before, it's all about the mindset, right? It's all the way it is encoded in our heads. It was a very straight kind of pathway when we started to talk about things like profession and training. You go to school, go to high school, like then maybe university, graduate, get a job, have maybe a life where you'll
Have
be
a
going
family.
to the job every day.
Mhm.
So whatever has been sold to us as we were growing up is like something very straight. And if it is not straight, people become to be frustrated. You know, that's why we're talking about uncles are not giving us job, not the government is not giving us job and things like that. But
Yeah,
life is not like that.
completely.
It's not a straightforward thing. Yeah.
Mhm.
So the point is that you can go to school. Yes, very important.
Mhm.
But most importantly, you go to school to train yourself in different aspects, technical
Technical.
skills, yeah, human skills. People skills are very important things. You learn them in school. You learn them also if like in your social circles. Yeah. So you also go to school just to increase your knowledge on things, right? It's not about I go to school so I can come get a job. No, some people literally study things like philosophy. That's what I studied. Who has jobs for philosophy, man? But I am
I
very,
know.
very happy to say like
Uh-huh.
I had the privilege to do philosophy. This is a course I am like, thank God for this.
Yeah.
To me, it's way better than other courses that been always say like becoming Zol Dictor or Molana and everything. I'd be like, it's a cool thing to be a philosopher, man. The next thing I have around it is like psychology and things like that. I'm still into like I invest a lot of time doing that. That means you don't need to study things to come and get a job, right?
Yeah.
Because there's no job advertisement saying you have to be like to be trained in philosophy or psychology to come get this job. It's very rare in South Sudan, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know what that does to you? It
Mhm.
builds you as a person
Yeah.
to be ready for other jobs that you would do still do confidently, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
So you learn for knowledge and skills development, also to develop your own way of thinking around things, how you figure things out and things like that. Not necessarily for job, yeah. But then we know the reality in South Sudan is different, man.
Yeah.
As we come back to our homes and families, they expect us to have something, to give them. So
Definitely.
job is not ruled out,
Yeah.
right? But then the only part that I would disagree with most youth is that it's not the government to give you the job necessarily. It's not the Munazama to give you the job necessarily. You know, you with the skills that you have, you could start something. And by the way, another thing also, you could start something that gives you the skill to get more of that. Yeah, like
Yeah.
you did know things like how to repair mobile phones, man.
Hmm.
10 years ago, no, like not so many people knew how to repair things like mobile phones, right? These electronics. But if you begin to have like, okay, sit down, have the discipline around it, and be doing it, 2 years down the line, you're good at it. 3 years down the line, you have a network. You know, this is how you could also create your own job and go away. Yeah, earning and also developing yourself in that. Yeah, this one doesn't need the government or an uncle actually. No.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I like that because, man, there's looking right now. There are
Yeah.
people outside there who have
Mm,
gone to church in the morning, come back from church, and head down to the Domino's place to play
mm,
for the whole day.
mm,
And
mm,
these are very productive youth. Some of them are graduates who have papers, but they've given up that there are no jobs. And of course, when there are no jobs, we have to go and do something, maybe play cards and be busy. To them,
mm.
playing cards is being busy, or playing
Yeah.
Domino's is being busy. And also, there are some of us who are past 30, like me, I'm past 30. I'm
Mm,
getting older, who are staying in uncle's house. My
mm,
uncle, who's a general in the army, so he
yeah.
provide food, he provide water, he provide
Mm,
education. So what
yeah.
you do is to wake up every morning, dress up smartly, and go and
Mm.
play dominoes. Do you think this kind of reliable lifestyle of South Sudanese is affecting our empowerment? Because if I'm getting all these things, if I'm not
Mm,
afraid of where to get rent to pay,
mm.
why would I work hard at the end of the
Yeah.
day? So do
Yeah.
you think this kind of reliability kind of lifestyle is affecting also our mindset as youth?
To me, my wish for every young person is that I would say like, young man, young lady, I wish you suffer. That's a very strange way of saying it, right? Suffer here means face reality, let it hit you.
And learn
But
from it.
by the time you come back, you come back a better person,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like if there is no uncle, there's no, let's say, a guardian or a parent or maybe a community that is taking care of you,
Yeah.
you will not die. You will actually be developing your resilience, your skills to survive
Mm-hmm.
in any situation,
Mm-hmm.
and you will be an independent. That's where the true independence will come from, right?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
One thing is that comfort really is a big uh, let me say, is a big threat to personal development. If
Exactly.
I'm comfortable, I'm sitting in a house where like I have a room, I have meals, I have access to medication, I have maybe things like transport, and I don't know where all these things come from. I will enjoy them, bro. I will enjoy them.
Have fun.
Right? I will enjoy them. But once this pipeline of good things is cut, I'm as dead. It's like you have just taken me from a very nice room and threw me outside there in the dark, like in the desert. Pop.
Exactly.
Now heat, everything, thirst. I don't even know where to get water. I don't know how to cover myself. I don't know how to do all these things because an uncle was doing them. My parents were doing them. And so even up to a certain age, my elder brother was doing that. No,
Yeah.
that comfort there is not good. That's why I want to say, like, I wish every young person suffers early enough.
Yeah.
Let them suffer so that by the time you develop your resilience, man,
Mm-hmm.
and South Sudanese are very resilient people. We have been through a lot,
Very. Yeah.
a lot,
So
right?
what about your
Mhm.
circle of friends? I know most of your friends are my friends through you.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
when I look at your circles of friends, like people that are so close to you,
Mm,
I became so impressed because of how they look at life, how you orient each other, how
mm,
you always so attached to each other, and sharing books, sharing
yeah,
discussions, sharing
yeah.
opinions,
Mm,
disagreeing to agree. It's quite a productive circle of people who
mhm,
can disagree without being offended, who can look at things differently. Do you think that having a circle of friends,
mm,
selection of your friends, contributes to who you can be? Because there's some friends that will influence you in a different way. But for example, your circle is quite interesting. Does it
mm.
contribute to who you are?
Very important. This is actually part of your people's skill. This is like creating your social network. To me, the people that you hang around a lot really, really influence your life,
Yeah.
whether it's one person or maybe there are 10 people. And that's why, as a young person, as a person in general, you need to be super, super careful whom do you spend even around 2 hours a day? Like where do you spend your valuable time, and whom do you spend it with? You know, because these people influence our lives. I have had people, giving me ideas, and once I go on follow, I get better like 10 more ideas behind what the person has told me. Right? You could just mention to me a name of a channel or a website or maybe an author, and once I follow, I come back and be like, wow, this was great. I got it because we had a chat with you, right? So I would really encourage people to be very, very intentional in whom they relate with, and whom they spend their time together. This is very important. And also, if you meet people, man, like this is your other resource, right? Meet people, yeah. You make sure, like, yeah, you can time test them, but then creating network is very, very important. There are things we have done a lot that are really uh, because of the people that we hang around. That's why I came to this training. I told you that the people I'm going to meet here are from all over the world, right?
Yeah.
And this is me expanding my social network. So I told myself, I'm going there not for this, not for the training in itself, but also to meet new people. Yeah, meet new people. Go hang out with different people, see their ideas, man. Like,
Expand your professional family.
exactly. Yeah,
How it is.
yeah,
Yeah,
hmm,
that's great. I don't want us to go without asking this question.
yeah,
I have been following the Tukul for a very long time. Tell us
yeah,
about the Tukul. What is the Tukul? Tukul in our language is kind of
yeah.
a small house where a lot of
Yes,
things happen. People talk about
yes.
a lot of things in Tukul. So tell us about Tukul.
Yeah, Tukul is a very broad idea, but from the name, people might wonder, why did we choose the name Tukul? So Tukul, like the way you said, is a small hut, is an African house, But Tim, in Africa, most of our life is actually happening in the Tukul.
Exactly.
Yeah, like people are born within the Tukul. People sleep in the Tukul. They eat in the
Eat
Tukul.
in the Tukul.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, secrets are shared in the Tukul,
Yeah.
and knowledge is passed down between elders and other young people through storytelling and things like that. All this happen in the Tukul, right?
Yeah.
So Tukul was a place where we live, learn, and expand our knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and it's also a cool thing, right? So you could say, like, it's too cool thing, like,
Catchy. Catchy is
yeah,
right.
exactly. Too cool,
You
but
feel
that's
like
also
it's like
is a
a
too
place.
cool thing,
Too
right?
cool thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So when we thought of a platform that would bring young people together to learn from one another, we said we could give it a name called Tukul, just to give it the African identity. Because these Tukuls are our African identity. Man, I go to the West,
Exactly.
South, Central Africa, in South Sudan. I've seen Tukuls all over in Africa. They could be in different parts of the world. I don't know.
Yeah.
But Tukul is an African identity. But then we call it Tukul School because this is a platform where people come together and learn constantly. We have done it like for over a year now, where young people come together. They learn about any topic, literally. People come, they choose a topic and they learn. They can even tell you how, guys, let us just share. How do you pass an interview?
Yes.
And then, yeah, this is like in a Zoom meeting. It's an online platform. Yeah.
Yeah.
For us, we don't have the budget to buy tea and things like drinks. Huh? So we don't choose, we don't do
I'll buy
the
for you one day. I'll buy for you tea one day.
so we don't see anything. We don't see anything. We just chat.
Yeah, yeah, sure. No, that is
Yeah.
great. That is
So
great.
we do it online. Yes, and it's on Zoom every Saturday, like 8 to 9 South Sudanese time, like CAT. This is Central African time. And then people just log into that Zoom meeting for free, no registration, no nothing, just the link, and then you join us and you talk to young people. Like, we can share stories. What is your story? Everybody has a story. Tim. Nobody's life is happening in a click or in a dot.
Each and every story
Yeah,
is
it's always a
telling its own
story.
story. Every
Exactly.
story
So people
has
come, they
value
share
in
their
it.
stories,
Yeah.
right? They share technical knowledge. We have shared knowledge, like how do you learn? How do you like how do you learn to develop your profession and your skills? More or less like this type of conversation. We have also done book reviews there. We have done technical trainings, like how do you train young people on digital literacy, like for example how to use a digital calendar, so that you track your progress. How do you use applications like these Google applications for learning and also for your work, things like that. Yeah.
That's
Hmm.
quite interesting. Now, Three things that people don't know about John Wong. You know, we always
Mhm.
like doing this. We know that even me, I think there's some things you don't know about me, and we are close
Yeah,
friends. What are three
yeah.
things that people don't know about you? And be honest.
Yeah, three things that people have, like people that have lived with for a long time but later discover that like wow, you know this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or so one thing is that I play football, man, like
Oh,
professionally. Yeah, but I retired.
I didn't see that coming. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, man, I've been doing that since the time we were in high school and also at college, man. Like football all the time.
Football. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. What else
So
again?
that's one thing. And also, people don't know that like uh, I'm an author, so this is something I've surprised my colleagues with. Yeah,
You're author.
yeah. So I wrote this book called Truth Crisis in 2019.
It's called
Yeah,
what?
published then. Yeah,
It's called what the book?
it's called
What's the name
Truth
of the book?
Crisis.
Truth
Truth
Crisis.
Crisis.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's about how we find ourselves in paradoxes all the time, especially like the things we were saying here before. People go to school thinking it will be the government uncles giving them job, but then you come and find reality is hitting you in a different way. Yeah, that's what like it's all about. Like looking at like the paradoxical side of things in life.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
that's interesting. Are there three?
yeah.
Or you have mentioned two?
Only two.
Oh, no, no, no. The last one.
Yeah, okay, the
What's the
last
last thing you are
one.
saying?
Okay. Well, I believe there are a lot of things that people don't know about me, and yeah. So I'm a professional programmer, man. Like I do programming in not not the digital programming, but literally do program developments. Like if you want to write proposals or stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
that's like from the professional side.
That
Yeah,
I've never seen.
exactly.
I've never seen that.
So those are
Quite
three.
interesting.
Yeah.
Quite interesting. John Ngong, it's been
Mhm.
quite a very interesting sit and chat session with you. And thanks for making it happen, despite the fact that you just traveled and you've been quite a little bit tired, but you made it
Thank you.
happen. Thank you so much. That is being a family. Sip and chat is home. Tukul is home. We're always here. So
Thank
I
you.
would like to appreciate the fact that what you're doing to empower the youth is very great, and all of us are proud of it. Our contributions might look very small, but any impact you create, no matter how small it is, it contributes to the bigger impact of change we want. So keep doing what you're doing, bro, and we're always proud of you. What is your last shot? What do you want to say to our viewers, to our South Sudanese youth, to everyone outside there?
All right. So thank you very, very much, Tim, one more time for having me here. It's really good to uh, be part of this platform. I've seen a lot of work you are doing. Keep doing that, bro. I will also say the same. Yeah, we also want to have you in the Tukul one day, man.
Definitely. I
Yes.
think it will take some time, but I would love to come this time. Maybe
Okay,
with tea.
good.
Maybe with tea also.
This time we'll have the teaser. We can also see the chat.
Sit and chat, yeah. Thanks a lot,
Yes,
bro. And when
yes.
are you coming back? I don't want you to say it here because we might have
Mm,
enemies you don't know. So we wish you all the best as you interact with people around
yeah,
there. And when you come
yeah.
back, safe journey in advance when you make it back. And please
All right.
take care of yourself and have a wonderful day. So our viewers, this was John Ngong, one of great youth that is doing a lot of things, and we are very proud of him. Today we have chat about youth empowerment through skills development, which is a challenge. We have so many youth that have given up simply because they feel like they don't have the capacity to do what they want to do or to pursue their dreams. So each and every dream outside there is valid. So we encourage each and everyone to develop his or her own skills. And we also know that Google nowadays, by the way, is doing great. If you have no one that can mentor you, please do go and
Mm,
search some things on internet. You can learn. There's a story called self-learning where you learn by yourself. It's not always
mm.
that hard. So and also if you have someone that you see you look up to, please do reach out and ask them for help. This is how we develop. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day, bro. In the Hague. Take care and be blessed.
All right. Thank you, team, for having me.
Bye.
Yeah.
Thanks. Bye.
All right. Okay.